Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider dropping likes, and if you do consider subscribing to the channel, as we always do a lot of times on this video, going to give you official update on the current transfer rumours and gossip that's currently going on, because obviously we're all aware that Manchester United need investment of course this summer, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified the key areas where he thinks Manchester United of course need to strengthen up, and I do believe that Manchester United this summer need around at least 4 players, of course, as well. But obviously, we're still looking to hire a director footballer to come in, obviously, to change the club structure and all that. But it's good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is emphasising his key targets, which is really, really good. But I think we're going to get around over £200 million spend this summer. Now, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is permanent manager, of course, as we all know. Obviously, he's going to make the decisions now. He's been in regular contact with Ed Woodward, what players should come in, what players should leave, and what players, should stay, of course, as well. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is going to make that decision, of course, as well. So potentially, as I did say, there's some transfer rumours going on. We do expect, players to leave Manchester United, of course, in the summer. Obviously, there's still some contract renewals to sort out as well. So potentially, yeah, we'll get straight onto the chase, but we've got to get the right players in the summer, that can elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, of course, as well. Because potentially, we didn't spend out in January. We didn't spend much last summer. We didn't get as priority targets last summer, of course, as well. So it's essential that we get the right players this summer. We need a right back, we need someone on that right wing, we need a centre back, we need a couple of additions in that midfield, to be quite honest with you as well. So essentially, yeah, we'll update you now on some current the transfer rumours that are currently going on. So I'm going to give you an update today on some transfer rumours that are going on, as I currently said. First breaking news, I'm going to update you on that Manchester United have reportedly showed an interest in Saul Niguez, Niguez, or however you pronounce his name. He's an Atletico Madrid midfielder reportedly. We could obviously see him as a replacement for Fernando Herrera, of course, as well, but he's called Saul Niguez or something like that. He plays for Atletico Madrid reportedly. Manchester United reportedly are interested in signing him, for him to link up with Pogba and Matic, of course, in our midfield, because it's looking like Ander Herrera is on his way out of the club, of course, as well. He's only 24 years of age, of course, as well. Don't really know much about the player, to be quite honest with you. He's 24 years of age. He's been at Atletico Madrid, a number of years now. Graduated from their youth system. I think he's made about over 200 odd appearances for Atletico Madrid. Reportedly, it's also said that Manchester City have also expressed an interest in the player as well. But he's a versatile midfielder. Reportedly, he can play the number 6 role. He can play the number 8 role. He can play on the right wing, of course, as well. That's obviously one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities. Is to recommend a right winger, to come to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. So potentially, yeah, and I think he's got a release clause of around £128 million as this player reportedly as well in his current deal with Atletico Madrid. So reportedly, Manchester United have reportedly showed an interest in him. He's 24 years of age reportedly, but I don't really know much about him. But I know he's versatile, of course, as well. So we probably see him as a good replacement for Ander Herrera, of course, as well. And potentially, as we all know, in relation to Ander Herrera, it's a shame that it's looking like he's going to be leaving Manchester United, as we all know, because we do know that he's been a good servant for the club, as we all know. We do know that there's better players out there than Ander Herrera, without a shadow of a doubt. Indeed, he's been here 5 years. He's made 187 appearances for the club as well. Obviously, he was dropped in the game yesterday against Wolves, of course, as well. But in my opinion, Ander Herrera, there's better players out there, but he's potentially one of our best players. Is Ander Herrera, of course, as well. He's been really fit in that midfield trio very, very well. He's tenacious. He breaks up the play very, very well. Of course, Ander Herrera as well. But reports coming out the other day saying that has agreed a deal to join PSG on a free transfer at the end of the season. So potentially, he's signed a pre-contract agreement with PSG, as reportedly Ander Herrera. Reports have been coming out saying that Man United were locked in contract negotiations with Ander Herrera, but reportedly it was demanding wages of around £200,000 a week. Reportedly, Manchester United were not willing to meet his current wage demands, reportedly as well. So potentially, I think he's unhappy with our offer of a new long-term deal for him. So potentially, that's regarded now that he has made a current decision on his future. And I think he's signed it's a 3-year deal with PSG worth around £200,000 a week, of course, as well. And we do know that Ander Herrera isn't a £200,000 a week player, because we could get another player that's better than Ander Herrera, and maybe £150,000 a week player, or something like that as well. I do like Marco Verratti. I really, really like him. But as we all know, this got revealed from Duncan Castles, as we all know, know, as well. But potentially Ander Herrera, as I did say, has been a really, really good servant for the club. You know, he has had rough patches in his playing tenure at Manchester United, of course, as well. But overall, I think, you know, since, you know, especially since Solskjaer's come in, his form's been rejuvenated and he's been in really, really good form. He did, and we can say that's probably, you know, £30 million, you know, down the drain, because that's what we paid for him back in 2014 from Atletico Bilbao, of course, as well. And obviously PSG are looking to add new additions into their midfield. Thomas Tuchel's heading into his second season, and obviously PSG are obviously looking to add new additions into their midfield, looking for someone to partner alongside Marco Verratti, and they've identified Ander Herrera. And obviously Adrian Rabiot's probably on his way out of the club this summer. Of course, he's refused to sign a new deal. He comes to an end of his deal, as I said, this summer does Adrian Rabiot. He's still young, of course, as well. So Man United may negotiate, you know, a potential swap deal, you know, between Adrian Rabiot and Ander Herrera, because that could be possibly on the card, you know, to be quite honest with you, as well. So yeah, so PSG looking like they've got Ander Herrera on a free in the summer, of course, as well. And other breaking news, you know, coming out of the media, as well, as I think a lot of Manchester United fans, you know, have been hearing about, is in relation to Juan Mata, of course, as well. And recent reports have been coming out in the last couple of days in relation to Juan Mata, saying like reportedly Barcelona are reportedly interested in signing Juan Mata on a free transfer this summer. Reportedly, it has said reportedly, you know, Juan Mata is in talks. Juan Mata's reportedly in talks. It's also said that Barcelona are in talks with Juan Mata over a multi-year deal, reportedly, as well. And it's in a few media outlets, reportedly, because I don't know if Man United have been in talks of trying to get him a new contract, reportedly, as well, you know, Juan Mata. Of course, obviously, not too long ago, he's just suffered a hamstring injury as well. But again, another good servant for the club, you know, Juan Mata, as we all currently know. He's been here since 2014, so this is his 5th season now at Manchester United. You know, he has made over 200 odd appearances in all, I think, in all competitions. You know, he scored 50 goals in the Premier League for us, as well as Juan Mata. And obviously, you know, when he was a lot younger in his prime, you know, Juan Mata, he is age 30 now. You know, he had a lot of experience, you know, playing in Spain. You know, he began his career in Madrid. You know, he had 4 years with Valencia, you know, playing under Unai Emery as well. But since, you know, he's been in English football, you know, he's done really, really well indeed. He's now Premier League proven, of course, and he's been in the Premier League a lot of years. I think he's been in the Premier League a good, 7-8 years is it now? You know, this is including his time he had with Chelsea, because I think he had 2.5, 3 years with Chelsea, of course, as well. But Manchester United paid £40 million for him, you know, back in 2014, of course, and that was actually, you know, one of David Moyes' signings, of course, as well. And he can actually play as a central mid. He can also operate on the wing as well, you know, can Juan Mata. I'm potentially deep down he probably will miss Spain, you know, Juan Mata, to be quite honest with you, because obviously, you know, he risen up the ranks in Spain. You know, he was in Madrid, then went to Valencia, of course, as well. He actually spent, you know, 4 seasons with Valencia. So reportedly, Barcelona you know, in talks with Juan Mata over a multi-year deal, reportedly. But I think if Man United were willing to offer him a contract, it wouldn't be a long-term contract, of course, considering that he is age 30 now, Juan Mata. Of course, he's aging up, of course, as well. So it wouldn't be a long-term contract anyway. So potentially he could be on his way out this summer, of course, as well, could Juan Mata. So there has been a lot of talks, you know, going on about that as well. But as essentially been giving you an update on some other news as well, you know, other players I think, you know, should be leaving Manchester United as well. And we know that Valencia's on his way out of the club in the summer again, another long-serving player for Manchester United. And over the years, he has been essential. And again, being a good servant to the club, he's made over 300 appearances in all competitions, as Antonio Valencia, as we all currently know. As I did say, this is 10th season at Manchester United, but he's set to leave on a free transfer in the summer, because we opted against that decision to give him that new 1-year extension, of course, as well. In relation to Ashley Young, I think Ashley Young's diabolical. I think he's way past it now. He's 33 years of age, of course, as well. Again, he's been a good servant to Manchester United. He's been here, 7, 8 seasons now at the club, you know, as Ashley Young. But I think he's past it now. You know, he's getting exploited far too easily. His past completions, very poor indeed. I just think he's past it now, as Ashley Young. He was a good winner, you know, back in the day, you know, was Ashley Young. But most recently, you know, we operate, you know, Ashley Young as a fullback, of course, as well. But potentially, we do know that Manchester United, you know, did give him a new 1-year extension. So potentially, Ashley Young will probably leave, you know, when his 1-year extension expires, and by the time that does expire, Ashley Young, you know, will be 35 years of age, of course, as well. So potentially he's another player I want out of Manchester United, of course, as well. And we also too do know, I think Rojo could be on his way out of Manchester United. You know, he's had a difficult career with Manchester United, of course, as well. You know, with a string of injuries he's currently suffered, you know, just recovered from a long-term absence as well. So I can see him, you know, leaving Manchester United, of course, I can see him leaving Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. I think Darmian's on his way out of Manchester United, of course, as well. That's another player. I think he's on his way out of the club as well. And potentially, I think Sanchez is definitely on his way out of Manchester United, of course, as well. Sanchez has been very inconsistent as a Manchester United player, since he's come. We've had him here about 14, 15 months now. When he has been given the opportunity, he just looks so restricted. He just looks as though he hasn't been getting that freedom, and he just hasn't fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system. Alexis Sanchez, to be quite honest with you, as well. So Sanchez has been very inconsistent, considering his substantial amount of wages he's currently on. It's going to be hard to find a buy for him this summer, so Man United may consider loaning him out, or Sanchez may be willing to take some kind of wage cut. I do not know. And he's suffered quite a few injuries as Manchester United player, and he's currently out now with a knee injury, of course, as well. There's a lot of United fans saying, that Lukaku also, should move on as well, because I do know that Lukaku's got a really, really good pedigree in the Premier League, of course, as well. But in my opinion, in terms of Romelu Lukaku, to be quite honest with you, he's very, very slow. His first touch concerns me. His finishing just lets him down. I think his finishing, does need to improve, of course, as well. And he's well Premier League proven, of course, as well as Romelu Lukaku. If we do decide to get rid of him in the summer, obviously we're going to try and recoup the initial £75 million, we did pay for him, of course, as well. So potentially people are now saying, we need to move Lukaku on, because potentially he doesn't get enough runs in behind. He doesn't get enough runs in behind, of course, as well. And we do have concerns about him, to be quite honest with you, as well. So potentially there's a lot of United fans, still saying that we should move Lukaku on. But before the international break, he was in really, really good form. He was looking a fantastic partnership alongside Marcus Rashford. And as I did say, Lukaku does perform much, much better, when he's getting that support up front, because he looks more effective, of course, as well. But potentially some people are now saying Lukaku should be gone, and even Manchester United may even need a backup striker, to be quite honest with you, as well. So potentially, in my opinion, in the areas Man United need to strengthen up, as I do keep saying, we need a right back, we need a centre back, someone who can go alongside Victor Lindelof. As I said, Bailly, as I said, future's uncertain. Phil Jones' future is uncertain, of course, as well. We need a centre defensive midfielder that's fast and tenacious, of course, as well, because he's got Nemanja Matic aging up. I've got strong reservations about him. He's very, very slow, indeed. I think we need to look at midfielders like box-to-box midfielders, to be quite honest with you, as well. But Nemanja Matic overall, I've praised him, because overall his performances have improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think recently, when he has been playing, since he's actually recovered from that injury, he's been ineffective in that midfield. He's slowed that midfield down, to be quite honest here, as well. So we do need someone in that midfield, that can go alongside Pogba and Nemanja Matic. And I think one of our targets is reportedly Saul Niguez, or however you pronounce his name, but I just know he's an Atletico Madrid player. He's 24 years of age, of course, as well. I think he's made about 200 odd appearances for Atletico Madrid. Reportedly, I think he was on loan at Villarreal at one point, as well, was this player. And we don't know what's happening with Paul Pogba yet, to be quite honest with you. Paul Pogba, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer insisted that he still remains happy at the club, and Solskjaer himself has been in talks with Paul Pogba, as we all know, as well. Obviously, there's been a lot of rumours going out in the past couple of weeks. I have been hearing reports coming out from Spain, saying that, he's obviously, linked with a move to Real Madrid, and Paul Pogba's been speaking a lot about Real Madrid, and this could have concerns for Man United. It could, have concerns for Man United. It could have concerns, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. And Paul Pogba himself insisted he's happy for the time being at Manchester United, of course, as well. But the comments he said about Real Madrid, with his dreams and with his dream and that to play for Real Madrid, I don't think he's intending on spending the rest of his playing career in England, of course, as well. So I think he's seeking a new challenge. I think potentially we probably, if we were to, put him up for sale, this summer, of course, as well, potentially would demand at least around 150, maybe 155 million pounds, something like that, as well. But potentially his agent Raiola has had a say on this. He's been in the process of finding him a new club. His agent Raiola has been to Manchester to have talks about a potential move for Pogba. He's also had a couple of conversations with Real Madrid about, Paul Pogba's desire to swap Old Trafford for the Bernabeu, of course, as well. So there has been a hell of a lot of talks about it going on, and in these last couple of games, Paul Pogba has not been performing. He's been very ineffective indeed. He's been getting bossed in that midfield far too easily, of course, well. So you're starting to think he's Madrid all in his head, of course, as well. Because overall, I'll praise his performances mainly under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he has really, really improved. In his 3 month or so period, Pogba's performances have really, really improved as a Manchester United player. And when he's on form, he's one of the best midfielders in world football, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he performs better when he's in that free role, to be quite honest with you, as well. But I think any offers that do come for Pogba this summer, Man United Man United are willing to turn them down, of course, as well. Recent reports did indicate that he turned down a contract offer from Manchester United as well. He's still got over 2 years left on his deal because he's under contract here till 2021. In the summer, as we all know, then it's exactly 2 years left on his current deal, of course, as well. The reports coming out the other week, he wanted to leave United. He was also demanding a significant pay rise. He was demanding an annual wage of around 14 million or something like that, which would potentially make him the highest paid player at Real Madrid, of course, as well. So there's been a lot of talks, going on about that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he's happy here, and Solskjaer still thinks he's got a big future at the club as well. And he's still 26 years of age, so he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, as Paul Pogba as well. This is his third season out at United. We paid £89 million for him from Juventus, back in 2016, of course, as well. So yeah, there's been a lot of talks going on about that, but we need someone in that midfield who can go alongside Pogba, who can go alongside Matic, of course, as well, and we do need a centre defensive mid. And this, Sal Niguez, reportedly can play on the right of midfield. He's versatile. He can play centrally. He can also play as a holding midfielder as well. Can he say Sal Niguez? So he's got a release clause of £128 million. We've got the financial, power, to meet that valuation, of course, as well. But I think he did mention in the press that City had also showed an interest. Just tell me how you pronounce his surname, because I can't pronounce it. Is it Saul Niguez or something like that? I can't pronounce his surname, so you could help me on that, guys, of course, as well. And other players, that Manchester United have been interested in. And in my opinion, I do think we need someone in that, in that attacking area, and I do think we need someone that can link up with Rashford and Anthony Martial in our front line as well. And I think Jadon Sancho, would be the perfect solution to Manchester United, of course. And reports have been coming out today saying that Man United are willing to pay over £100 million for Jadon Sancho. So prospectively, this would make him the most expensive English footballer ever. Of course, he's young. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him as Jadon Sancho, as we all know. He's still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022 as Jadon Sancho, as we all know, as well. And he's a very, very good player, as Jadon Sancho, as we all currently know, as well. Very, very good player indeed. He's done well in Germany, for a couple of years now, as we all know, as well. And his performances have been absolutely fantastic of Jadon Sancho's, and he's very, very young. And I think he's a solution to Manchester United's problems, I really, really do. I think he's attracted interest, from quite a few teams across Europe. I think it's all said that PSG have been interested in Jadon Sancho, of course, but we need someone who can play between the bylines, put crosses into the box, and this is what Jadon Sancho can do. So potentially, in my opinion, I think Jadon Sancho in our attacking line would link up well with Rashford and Anthony Martial, of course, as well, because a lot of United fans now are calling for Romelu Lukaku to leave the club, of course. And financially, Borussia Dortmund would make a huge profit on the player. They only paid £8 million for him in Manchester City back in 2017. He had a couple of years with Man City, but he's one of England's youngest upcoming prospects, is Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. So there has been a lot of talks about it going on. I think Man United officials have been in contact, with his representatives and all that as well. But I think it is the club's #1 priority target, is Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. One of the areas Man United have got to strengthen up, as we all think as well, is that right back position. And we do need someone young and ambitious on that right hand side. And I think we've been linked with Aaron Ramsey, that Crystal Palace player. A lot of people would have been giving you an update on. Reports have been coming out in the media today saying that reportedly Manchester United, they've been coming out, I think a couple of days, something like that. Man United are preparing to put a £35 million bid in for Aaron Ramsey. In my opinion, Aaron Ramsey, in my own personal opinion, he would be a great, perfect successor to Antonio Valencia. He'd be a great upgrader to Antonio Valencia. He's 21 years of age, is Aaron Ramsey. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. So far, he spent the entirety of his playing career with Crystal Palace, as we all know, as Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But reportedly only broke into the first team last year in February, of course. Well, I think he's made in the first team now with Palace about 34 appearances, and I think he's the players like him have got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, of course. Well, again, very, very young indeed, and Solskjaer, showed an interest, in quite a few young players, of course, well, because we have got quite a lot of experienced players. They do seem to be the ones, that are causing us the problems, of course, as well. So he's also been mentioned in the media. We do know Declan Rice has also been talks about him going on as well. Defensive midfielder, of course, as well. And that's one of the areas I think Manchester United need to strengthen up. He's only young again. He's 20 years of age. He's Declan Rice, as we all know, as well. Don't really know much about him, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I know he plays for West Ham. I think he's under contract with West Ham till 2024. Reportedly, he's had a good season, this season with West Ham, as well as Declan Rice. So I have been hearing, news about him, to be quite honest with you, as well. I think think it's actually one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. Reportedly, is Declan Rice, of course, as well. So yeah, we're linked with quite a few players, to be quite honest with you. There's also been talks about Raphael Varane, going on in the press in the last couple of days as well. We do know he's got a huge release clause of around £429 million as Raphael Varane. But again, with Man United have targeted Raphael Varane, and there's quite a few teams that have targeted Raphael Varane. Juventus have targeted him, PSG have reportedly targeted him as well, because there has been reports coming out about Raphael Varane saying that reportedly he's considering leaving Real Madrid this summer. Reportedly, is Raphael Varane. He's been at Real Madrid 8 years, he's remained loyal to them. He's only 25 years of age, and we should be targeting players at that caliber, of course, as well. And he's a world-class centre back. He looked very, very good alongside Lindelof, and it's remarkable what he's achieved as a 25-year-old. I think he's won about 15, 16 major honours in total. He's still under contract with Madrid till 2022, of course, as well. But recent reports are indicating now that Real Madrid are not willing to sanction him off. I think they're only willing, to maybe negotiate about it. If any team is willing to meet his staggering 429 million release clause, of course, as well. So obviously in that scenario, obviously it's very, very unlikely indeed. But I do like Raphael Varane. He reads the game well, his defensive capabilities are good, he reads the game well, as I said. He shows that ability that I can play out from the back, of course, as well. So he'd be a great addition in our back line, if he was to come to Manchester United, of course, as well. But Man United have been linked with him, as we all currently know, as well. But for me, in my opinion now, reflecting on yesterday's game, as you have seen my match reaction, I did one yesterday. You saw my video earlier on as well. And potentially now people are doubting, Man United are going to get top four, of course, as well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come out. He says basically, for Manchester United to have any chances of top four, we've got to win 5 out of our remaining 6 games if we have got any chance of top four, of course. And in that period, we've still got Man City to play, we've still got Chelsea to play, of course, as well. So maybe I don't really see us getting it, and obviously we've lost 3 of his last 4 games, of course, as well. And it's very, very disappointing in the game. But reflecting on the Wolves game, I thought the first 20 minutes, Manchester United were very, very dominant. The transition from back to front, was very, very good. Some of the link-up play was very, very good. I thought we were creating very, very well. We had chances as well. I'm going to pinpoint them chances Manchester United had in that game. We had 2 chances through Lukaku. Lingard should have also scored them as well. Lingard had a poor game, to be quite honest with you, as well. I thought, Fred was okay to a point, but I don't really rate Fred anyway. And for me, I don't even know if he's a long-term solution for Manchester United, Fred. But Solskjaer did make 6 changes in the game. Obviously, Scott McTominay, it was good to see him, score his first goal for the club as well. And, McTominay was our best player on the pitch yesterday, without a shadow of a doubt. Indeed, he scored a really, really good goal. It was contributed by Fred, to be quite honest with you, as well. But McTominay, scored a good goal. And we was on top in the first 20 minutes, we were creating chances left, right and centre. We passed the ball well. Wolves couldn't get to grip with us in the first 20 minutes, of course, as well. And we played very, very well in the first 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden, Wolves got themselves back in the game, with an individual mistake from Fred and De Gea. So you can say it was both their faults, of course. And Diego Jota equalised, and that makes it 1-1. Then obviously Wolves figured us out. The momentum grew into Wolves. And then they started, to play. They started, hitting us on the counter-attack. They started creating chances, of course, as well. Then Manchester United really then, couldn't get back into the game, of course, as well. So potentially, as we all currently know, as I said, Ashley Young getting sent off in the game as well. Ashley Young needs to be dropped, in my opinion. I heard someone saying his pass completion was around, was it 23%? I might be wrong about the percent. I think he said something like that as well. So Ashley Young does not need to be starting, of course, as well. So he did get sent off, did Ashley Young, of course, as well in the game. Wolves' second goal, again, another individual mistake. Obviously, it was a Chris Smalling own goal, as we all currently know, as well. So essentially, that's twice. Wolves have beaten us just over the fortnight, of course, as well. And to be fair, Wolves deserved the victory in the end. They've got some good players in that team. They invested quite a bit of money last summer. Nuno Santo, is doing a really, really good job there with Wolves, of course, as well. They're also in the FA Cup semi-final, for the first time since 1997, 1998, of course, as well. And the record against the top 6 sides has been absolutely fantastic this season, indeed, as Wolves, as well. And they're sitting 7th in the league. I think they're fighting, to try and qualify, for the Europa League, of course, as well. And I think, Wolves have had a really, really really good season. You know, they have got a great chance of winning the FA Cup. If City don't win it, I do think Wolves will win it, if I'm going to be quite honest with you as well. So they're having a really, really good season. I think Diego Jota and Raul Jimenez had a fantastic partnership in Wolves' squad, if I'm going to be quite honest with you as well. So they're a fantastic partnership. I think Moutinho's good. I think Dendonka's good for them as well. So they have got good players of Wolves, of course, as well. Also got a draw of us at Old Trafford earlier on in the season, of course, now. But we do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now is the permanent Manchester United boss, of course, as well. He's totally blameless in this situation, because obviously we've got that team out there. Obviously that team, some of that team's got to take some responsibility. You've got to question some of the players' mentality, you know, the attitude, of course. You can, you know, you saw the lack of consistency yesterday, you know, after 20 minutes, of course, as well. The lack of consistency, a lot of bad individual performances. Pogba was poor, Fred was poor, who else was poor? I think, you know, Lukaku, I wouldn't say was poor. He didn't get enough runs in behind, but he did have his chances in the game, so I wouldn't say he was that poor. I thought Lingard was poor. I thought Luke Shaw did okay in the game. Lindelof was okay in the game. I thought Diego Dalot, you know, played okay. He put a good couple of decent crosses into the box as well, so I didn't think Diego Dalot, you know, did that too bad, you know, to be quite honest with you as well. But for me, it was just a lack of consistency, of course. You know, we didn't really show any passion, of course. Well, but in the first 20 minutes, you know, we were cruising in the first 20 minutes because we played really, really well in the first 20 minutes. You know, if we'd have taken them chances through Lingard and Lukaku, we should have actually been 3-0 up at half-time in the game, of course, as well. But it had to be, and, you know, that's just the way football goes. And, you know, we didn't perform well against Watford. You know, we were crap against Wolves in the FA Cup, of course, as well. The Arsenal defeat, I thought we played okay in that, and we had our chances in that, and I don't think we played too bad in the Arsenal game, but it's no good. You know, we still lost the game, you know, to be quite honest with you as well. But for me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now has got the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, as we all know. It's a 3-year deal, of course, as well. We're miles away from City and Liverpool, of course. We've got to invest in the summer, of course, because we do know other teams, you know, are going to invest their squad this summer, of course, as well. But a lot of this is down to Ed Woodward. There's a lot of people, you know, talking about, you know, to be quite honest with you. And a lot of this, you know, does stem from Ed Woodward, you know, to be quite honest with you. You know, the way the club's running and stuff like that. And, you know, I think a lot of people were talking about yesterday, you know, from 2013, you know, of course, as well, you know, when Ed Woodward employed David Moyes, who was actually, you know, recommended by Alex Ferguson, of course, as well, and didn't work out under Moyes, and we should have never appointed Moyes in the first place. He did good at Everton, but, you know, he's never dealt with top players. He never had a good pedigree and all that, so we never ever should have appointed him. Louis van Gaal, we got him in. He actually, I'm going to be fair to Van Gaal, he had a decent pedigree, you know, when he was at Bayern Munich and all that, and we recommended him in, and it didn't work out under him. And, you know, because it was boring, naive football, he killed our style of play, of course, as well, and it didn't work out under him. We got Mourinho in, one of the best managers in world football, of course, then. Didn't work out under him, even though he won 2 trophies in his first season, of course, as well. But Manchester United have spent a lot of money. You know, we haven't spent out yet under Solskjaer because we didn't spend out in January, and he's in the process still, you know, rebuilding this Manchester United team, of course, as well. Potentially, I think we must have spent about 700 million pounds or something like that, you know, since Ferguson retired in 2013. I think Moyes spent 67 million on 2 players. I think Van Gaal spent 200 odd million pounds. You know, Jose Mourinho spent just under 400 million on 11 players, of course, as well. So you've got to take into granted that this is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team. He's inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. There's still some players here from Louis van Gaal, of course, as well. And that's what you've got to potentially, you know, take into perspective, of course, as well. So for me, you can't blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics. I think Solskjaer is totally blameless in this situation, of course, as well. That's in my own opinion. And, you know, obviously we're in the process of looking to hire a director of football to come in. We need a director of football to come in, of course, as well, because Solskjaer needs backing in the summer transfer window, of course, as well. So the thing I wanted to update you guys on, obviously we still know, obviously De Gea is still yet to sign a new contract. I forgot to mention as well. We know it's looking like Herrera's on his way out of the club. You know, so yeah, so we've got to spend in the summer, and there's nothing much really more to say. I've given you everything, you know, I can really say on this current video, to be quite honest with you. We do know Solskjaer hasn't got a great managerial pedigree. You know, he had 2 separate spells with Molde. He won a couple of Norwegian titles, and he had a short tenure with Cardiff and all that, but he's never won any major honours, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. But he's at a club he loves. He knows the club inside out, of course, as well, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So we'll basically see what happens, but I think, you know, quite a few players are going to leave this summer. Valencia Llorente's on his way out. Rojo's probably on his way out. Darmian's probably on his way out. Sanchez is probably on his way out. Mata, you know, as I said earlier on, Barcelona now in talks to get him on a free transfer at the end of the season, of course, well, plus he's 30 years of age, of course, as well. He could be on his way out. And in my own opinion, I did forget to mention, we need to address that midfield also, because Herrera's going. Matic for me is too slow, so we need a centre defensive midfielder. And we have got fringe players like Fred, Pereira and McTominay, and to be fair, they can play well, but I just don't think they've got the capabilities, you know, to graduate Manchester United to that level, of course, as well. So we do need a midfielder or two in there, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below.